Hi YouTube, welcome back to April Nicole Design. I am April. On today's video, we're going to be doing part 2 of the blazer sew along. You will see me cutting out pattern pieces, applying interfacing and thread marking on this video today. If you haven't checked out part 1 of this series, be sure to do so. Let's get into it. Here are the general directions for the blazer. It tells you the pattern pieces you need for each style blazer, a legend for symbols, as well as cutting layouts of each blazer. The pattern pieces that we need for blazer A are numbered, which are 1 front that was previously manipulated, 2 pocket, 3 pocket facing, 4 back that was also previously manipulated, 5 upper collar, 6 under collar, 7 front facing that was previously manipulated, 8 back facing, 9 upper sleeve, and 10 under sleeve. The fabric I will use for the blazer will be denim, but in this video I'm using muslin, which is used for sample garments, just so we can make sure the fit is correct before using the actual fabric. Most fabric comes folded in half. The fringy edge is the selvage side. The sharp edge is the folded side. That's very important to remember before laying out your pattern pieces. Here are the pattern pieces that I need to cut 2 of, starting with the upper sleeve, the under sleeve, the under collar, the pocket facing, the back facing, and the upper collar. There are a couple of pattern pieces that are required to be cut on the fold: the upper collar and the back facing. Each piece have arrows pointing to the edge of one side that says center fold. The fold line is the grain line for those particular pieces. The undercollar seems to have an awkward place for a grain line. The grain line is important to how you lay out the pattern pieces. I'm going to start the layout with the 2 pieces that are required to be on the fold. The grain line on each piece should be parallel to the selvage. To make sure the grain line is parallel, use a see-through ruler. You can use weights or pins to secure the pieces to the fabric. I'm going to use size 14 for the entire blazer. To avoid cutting off the larger sizes, I'm going to use tracing paper for each piece and trace size 14. Here are 2 more pieces I need to cut 2 of. I did not film tracing these pieces out, but it's the same concept from the previous clip. Here are the pieces I need to cut 1 of: the back, the front facing, and the manipulated back, front facing, as well as the pocket. I unfolded the fabric to cut 1 of each piece I stated before. I traced the size 14, omitting the vent on the back piece because the blazer is cropped. I forgot to mention, for the upper collar, the sizes are along the side of the grain line, so the size you need should sit on the fold. I made the mistake of having 2 pieces too close together. Some of the seam allowance will be cut off. Be careful of doing this. Mistakes are just reminders of what not to do next time. Now it's time to cut out each pattern piece. You can use a rotary cutter. Make sure you have a self-healing mat underneath before cutting. Or you can use shears. Never, ever use scissors you cut paper with to cut out fabric. You run the risk of cutting jagged edges on your fabric. Use whichever one works for you. The pocket facing is one piece that requires cut 2 of fabric and cut 2 of interfacing. Interfacing is basically used on certain areas of a garment to support, to maintain shape, and to stabilize many areas and edges like collars and cuffs. Now I'm going to fuse this interfacing onto each piece that requires it, starting with the pocket facing, the under collar, the back facing, which needs to be cut on the fold, the upper collar, also cut on the fold, the front facing, both the manipulated pattern piece and the original piece. Fusible interfacing has a smooth side and a slightly rough side. On the wrong side of the pattern piece, place the rough side of the interfacing face down. Hold a warm iron on top of the smooth side of the interfacing for about 5 to 10 seconds and repeat for each piece. On each pattern piece, there are small dots and large dots. On the fabric, I transferred these dots as X's. Thread marking is a way to transfer markings. For each piece, I'm going to push a threaded needle through each dot and leave a small piece of thread showing on each side of the fabric.